What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is the first Saturday after the All-Star break. Maybe you saw us yesterday for the first time. Well, this video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to check everything out. We're going to go game by game. We've got a 6-game early. We've got it's a weird because usually Saturdays, the main slate's like at noon or 3, but it's a normal 6:05, 9-gamer for your main slate. So we're going to cover it all. So if you've never been here before, this is why we are different. We have giveaways. We go through each and every game. We're going to look at all of the pitchers that are available. There's still a couple that are not available, but whatever, we'll still go through it. We'll look at the batters on each side, and we'll look at about 3 to 5 batters per team in each game. So if we like a team to stack a little bit more, we'll maybe have like 5 or 6 players we like out of that game. So we're going to break it down game by game. We're going to do everything for you. And hopefully you guys are ready to rock and roll. So we're going to use outlier.bet. So if you've never seen it before, I'm going to show you what it is. The link to sign up for a 7-day free trial is in the description of this video, along with the article, along with our absolutely free Discord that you guys need to get into. But what makes us a little bit different, we try to have giveaways. We do have giveaways every single day. And here's how you can win. Super simple, super easy, and super free. Got to like this video right now. Pause it and like it, or rewind it and like it. You got to leave a comment, and you got to be a YouTube subscriber to this channel. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets at least 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that's all sports we offer. Current sports, MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA. We've got MLB and MMA today. NASCAR every other week, every weekend, unless there's an off week. MLB's every day as well. We're inching our way towards NFL, which we cannot wait for. Cannot wait. If at the end of this video, I've already done 2 breakdowns for, as you can see, the Falcons and the Cardinals, and our projections for the fantasy relevant players. Click those, watch those, love those. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass worth $500. Second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Watch for it, listen, type it in, and have a second shot at a free week. Now, we haven't had the same person win for a little bit. It's been like a month or so. So I want you guys to do that. And our record is 6 days in a row that someone won, the exact same person. What did they do? They persevered. They came every single day. They left comments. They came and watched the videos, and that's what you guys can do. Also, if you guys are interested, it's usually $30 for a monthly pass or a yearly pass or a monthly pass. It's $199 for a yearly pass. But if you guys email me today, dfshelp1@gmail.com, say you want the yearly promo, you'll pay, and I'll give you the coupon code, and you get a year for $75. So you can get a full year of every single sport for $75, which is 2.5 months worth of pay for 12 months. So make sure you get in there and let us know. So we're going to see who the 2 winners, or maybe the 1 winner is from yesterday. You guys killed it there. We were back. The video came out a little bit late because the websites weren't updating who the pitchers were. We just didn't know who the pitchers were for a very long time. So we got a minimum of 50 likes. So this person right here is only for the likes. So this is the video views winner for the likes. Moss, the Boss Baller. That might be the first time you've won. I don't recall you ever winning before. So congratulations. Now, you did have the keyword. We still re-roll it every single time for the keyword, but you did win it for the view. So I need you to email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, using the promo, or with the subject line saying you are the 718 video views winner, and we will get you set up. If you do not have an account on the website, just let me know a username, an email, and a password, and I'll get you set up. Now, I'm going to re-roll it. You still have a chance to win because you did have the keyword of yesterday, which was, in fact, coffee. So we're re-rolling it for the keyword, and the winner is... There you go. It's not happened for a while. That is exactly what we're trying to do. I want you guys to see it is possible that you can win both of them. So congratulations, Moss. Send me an email saying you are both the video views winner for today and the keyword winner, and we will get you set up. So that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to showcase and show you guys before. So if you've never been to the website, under the MLB tab, we have a ton of information. Before these videos are even ran, we do 10,000 simulations in the background, and that's what we're going to use to base off what we're going to talk about here in our breakdown video for you. So that being said, we are going to check out every single game. We're going to look at the early slate using Outlier, and this is why I love Outlier, and this is why I think you guys should check it out as well. Now, looking at this game, It should be Logan Webb pitching. It has not been 100% confirmed yet that it is in fact Logan Webb, but he is there. So we're going to go with the basis of this. This is kind of what we saw last year with the second half of the season. Some of these teams, like San Francisco, sometimes you don't know who the starting pitcher is until a few hours before the game starts, which is unfortunate, but we will base that off. Now, obviously, if it is not him and maybe it's a lefty, then you can go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, go to the MLB tab, and go to batter splits, and then go to your MLB batters against left-handed pitchers. Then you can go and you can sort out Toronto bats and see how they fare this year. It's updated daily against left-handed pitchers. So that being said, we're going to base this off of this, and obviously it can change being the second half of the season. So if we just look at this, San Francisco bats against Eric Lauer, they've never had success against him. Against left-handed pitching, they're not as good as they are against righties, but as you can see on the screen, they're there. They're here. Ones that you would look at, maybe, I'd look at Matt Chapman. I would look at Jung-Ho Lee. He just hits lefties better. And there's not a ton. Like, Devers batting 276, but he's been pretty atrocious overall since getting traded. But he does hit lefties well this year, so I'll go a little bit of Rafi Devers. And this being in Toronto, it's not a massive pitcher's ballpark like it is in San Francisco. Then you got San Francisco bats, or you've got Toronto bats against what we think is Logan Webb. It could change. Ernie Clement's the only one with a home run, but against right-handed pitching, even if it's not him and it's a right-handed pitcher, this is kind of what we can see. So I would look at Alejandro Kirk, who's batting over 300 with 6 bombs against lefties. Aston Barger batting 271 with double-digit home runs. I would look at him. George Springer's been on fire when we've used him the past month or so. He's batting 291 against righties right now with 11 home runs. Those are the 3 that I would take from both teams if we're playing an early slate. Now, again, make it sure that it is, in fact, Logan Webb. If it's not, we'll have everything updated. We usually have everything updated pretty early. It's a 2:07 by lunchtime, your time. It should be updated. Okay, next game, Kansas City Royals at the Miami Marlins. So weather should not be in concern. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's look at the weather real quick, because I did have a comment yesterday. Let's just look at ballpark factors to see if weather may be a concern. So right now we have a few spots here that there are upwards of wind blowing out, hot and humid, dead of the summer, where the ball flies out of there. So the biggest odds for home runs today, Citizens Bank Park between the Angels and the Phillies. 38% chance of home runs. You've got Steinbrenner Field, Baltimore at Tampa Bay, because it's hot and humid, it's Florida, and it's a minor league ballpark, 25%. Progressive Field at Athletics at Cleveland, 25% there. Wrigley, the wind is blowing out here. Boston, Chicago, hot, humid, and wind is blowing out. Bombs away there. Wrigley, 22%. Then you've got Nationals Park. The wind is blowing in, but it still has 18% chance. Coors Field, Minnesota at Colorado, always a chance there. And then Dodger Stadium, Milwaukee at the Dodgers, 12% chance of home runs. Now, those are the ballpark factors. If you want to see the weather, that is part of our premium, or that is on our cheat sheet. One of the tabs on the cheat sheet is, in fact, a weather tab. So looking at the game, we've got Cal Quantrill going for, I was going to say the mighty Marlins, but let's be real. You got Michael Wacha versus Cal Quantrill. In his career against Kansas City, 61 plate appearances, 288. Michael Wacha, 8 plate appearances, 0 batting average, so they haven't really seen it. So let's just look at Kansas City bats against Quantrill. Sal Perez is the only one with the home run. That's it. Then we look against right-handed pitching. They do hit righties a little bit better. Adam Frazier did just get traded over. He should start. I mean, he is in there for sure. Be a cheap option. But if I'm going with some, it's probably Vinny Pasquantino, Bobby Witt Jr. I'm probably siding with Sal Perez, who's batting 250, which is over the league average, and he's got double-digit home runs as well. Excuse me. Miami bats against Michael Wacha. Again, they really haven't seen him. Against righties, though, this year, kind of sneaky. You're looking at Hernandez there, batting 371, only 35 at-bats, but he's still in there. He might start. I would look at him. Augustin Ramirez batting 242 with double-digit home runs. I would look at him. Kyle Stowers batting 290 with 19 bombs. I would look at him as well. So we move to the next game. You got the Reds at the Mets. So again, this is a massive ballpark, so it's better than playing in Cincy where the ball flies out of there. So looking into it, got Nick Martinez versus Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes has kind of slowed down a little bit. Before the All-Star break, they did have him pitch. I think he was an opener last Saturday or Sunday. 3 innings or so, and then they brought in a long relief. I don't know if they're going to do that again. That's definitely something to look at. That's definitely something to monitor because he's slipped a little bit this year. He's got a 3.31 ERA. Strikeouts are 7.23 per 9. Not the best. His WHIP is 1.26. In his career, 21 plate appearances against this Reds team, 250 batting average. One of the guys he is going up against is Jose Trevino, which was his catcher for a couple of years with the Yankees. So he kind of knows what he's going to throw. It just depends if Trevino is going to start, and then it depends if we're going to see Clay Holmes out there for X amount of innings. That's the problem here. Probably scared to use either of these pitchers. Probably just looking at bats. The Reds bats against Clay Holmes, they really haven't seen him, but against righties this year, Ellie batting 308, Trevino batting 306, who knows kind of what he likes to throw. That's 2 right there. Probably another one is Noelvi Marte, batting 304 with 6 bombs. He can steal bases as well. I kind of like Marte a little bit more at home, but I would take him there. And if you want to go a full stack, which I am completely okay with, I would add TJ Friedel in there, and I'd probably add Spencer Steer in there as well. So I would look at those guys if I'm stacking Reds. And then stacking against Nick Martinez, like Juan Soto is 1 for 1 with a home run. But against right-handed pitching, like you can see, this entire team hits righties very exceptionally. So Pete Alonso batting over 300 with 16 bombs. Lindor batting 266 with 15. Nimmo batting 263 with 13. Juan Soto batting 264 with 19 bombs. And I'm probably looking at, if we're looking for a 5th one, I'm looking in the lower end, maybe Mark Vientos or even Ronnie Mauricio is what I would look at here. So I'm punting the pitching in this one. I'm fading it completely. There's other pitchers that we can look at. Then you got the Angels at the Phillies. You do have Yusei Kikuchi versus Taijuan Walker. So Kikuchi pitched last Saturday, did pretty decent, got the dub. It's kind of wild that he was an all-star. Thinking of, like, his numbers are good. 3.55 ERA, it's not showing him right now, but 33 plate appearances against this Phillies team. I think Kikuchi could be a sneaky tournament pitcher today because Philly's obviously really good. I think that he could be kind of sneaky, though. Philly bats, I would look at, if you were, like Kyle Schwarber hits lefties better, so I would look at Kyle Schwarber. Got 30 bombs this year, which is wild to think about, but I mean, that's who he is. I would look at him. I would look at Alec Boehm, who looks to be healthy, being my number 2. My number 3 is probably Trey Turner. And if you wanted to go a full stack, I do not mind Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto combined either. The Angels do strike out the second most out of any team, though. So we look at that, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then if we look at the Angels against Walker, really nothing. Soler's got a home run against him. Against right-handed pitching, though, the Angels do hit. So if you are looking at him, I'm probably looking at Zach Neto. I'm probably taking a gander at Mike Trout. If I'm looking for a third one, I'm probably looking... Depends, but maybe Nolan Shanaway batting 282 with 7 bombs is what I would look at. Taijuan Walker, I will have a little bit of exposure to him because, again, the Angels do strike out over 9.5 times a game and over 9.7 times on the road. So we got to give props to that. Walker's not like my favorite pick for the day, but I think both of these pitchers are tournament-only picks for an early slate like this. So the next game, we got the White Sox at the Pirates. So we look into this. You got Adrian Houser versus Mike Burrows. Burrows has never faced him before. These are 2 very bad teams, like very bad teams, the 2 worst teams in the league. Well, 2 of the 3, you got the Rockies there too. Mike Burrows comes in 1-3 record, 4.83 ERA. Just he doesn't get run support like Skeens. They've obviously never faced him before against righties. Like, I don't like this game offensively. You can look at it if you want. Maybe Mike Tauchman, maybe Miguel Vargas, maybe Montgomery-ish. But I kind of like Mike Burrows for tournaments. And then Pittsburgh against Adrian Houser, I would look at O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds. They both have home runs against him. Against right-handed pitching this year, they're hitting very well. You could throw in Tommy Pham. You could throw in IKF. Now, the trade deadline is in a couple of weeks. Tommy Pham, IKF, Brian Hayes names are being thrown out there. So that's always something to think about this part of the season. Trades can happen at any time. I would look at them. I would add Brian Hayes in there. Be a little sneaky, maybe go with the Pirates stack here. I think it'll go under-owned. We do have the ownership for stacks on the cheat sheet, so I usually tell people to look at that about 2 hours before first pitch of the main slate. Then the final game of the early slate, San Diego Padres at the Washington Nationals. You got Yu Darvish versus Mitchell Parker coming in here. So Mitchell Parker comes in. He's already faced San Diego once this year. Did get the dub in that one. Now, that was in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, not Washington. But he had 4.5 earned runs per 9. He went 6 innings in that game. Strikeouts were kind of low, though. Against Mitchell Parker, you got Jake Cronenworth with a home run, and that is it. But against lefties this year, they don't actually hit as well. If I'm taking anyone, it's Bogarts, it's Gavin Sheets, and it's probably Jackson Merrill would be the ones that I'd look at. I mean, Tatis batting 228 you could look at, or Machado batting 270 with 10 bombs. I think I'd probably take Machado over Merrill, or you could have both. It just depends on which direction you want to go in. And then Washington against Darvish. Abrams, Bell, and DeYoung all have home runs against him. This is his second start coming off the IL, and now he's had a little bit of a little time off since his last one. Against righties this year, I mean, you can see Nate Lowe. We've always taken him this year. He usually never let us down. I would look at him. I would look at James Wood. Honestly, I'm probably looking at Josh Bell here to be a cheap option. You want to stack two more? I would look at Luis Garcia and maybe even Brady House. I think his ownership could be pretty low in that. So then we get to the main slate. We got Baltimore at Tampa Bay, and that's exactly what we're going to look at right here, right now. Let's rock and roll. So you got Dean Kramer versus Zach Littell. What you're looking for on DraftKings, you're looking to average right around 25 to 30 fantasy points per each pitcher that you have. On FanDuel, basically 40 to 50 is kind of the range that you're looking. So Littell comes in, 15 fantasy points a game is what he's averaging. Not exactly what we're looking for, but he's in a matchup here. The problem is the ball is flying out of here so well. I don't want either pitcher, okay? He's already faced Baltimore twice this year. 4 earned runs, 8 Ks. Like, that's not bad. Game log-wise, trying to see, he just faced him 24.75 at Baltimore. And then looking for when Baltimore was at them. Or are they both at Baltimore? Where's the other one? Am I just blind? Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at Baltimore. Okay, so in that game at home, he gave up 3 earned runs and 3 Ks. That's kind of what I'd look at. I think I'd rather take the bats. And then Dean Kramer coming in, splits-wise. Already faced him twice this year. He's actually done decent. But you look at this, 29.35 in Baltimore against them. Had a great game against Miami as well. But then when Baltimore went to Tampa Bay, 17.6. He didn't do bad. He only went 5 innings in that game, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. Dean Kramer for tournaments, maybe, but with the wind blowing out of here, I'm probably looking at the bats more. So there are just other pitchers on this 9-game main slate that we can look at. So if we're looking at Baltimore bats, Gunnar Henderson batting 333 and 21 at bats with 2 bombs against him. Colton Cowser has 2 home runs. Ramon Laureano has a home run. Like, those bats are great. Against righties, those would be what I'd look at. You could add in Jackson Holiday. You could also add in Jordan Westberg if you want to do a full Baltimore stack here. Tampa Bay against Dean Kramer. Chris Morel has a home run, and then Danny Jansen has 2. You look against righties, Danny batting 210. I would throw him in there because he's had success against him. Jonathan Aranda would be another one I'd look at. Junior Caminero would be another one I'd look at, who let me down for the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby. If you want 2 more, probably looking at Jake Mangum and then probably Chandler Simpson, because if he gets on, he gets steal bases as well, which count as fantasy. So I'm avoiding the pitching in that one for sure. Detroit at Texas. It has not been confirmed yet that it is in fact Kiter Montero, unless the news just came out. He hasn't pitched since July 7th, so it's been a minute. He pitched out of relief there on July 12th. That's the problem. We don't know if if it was even relief, if he's gonna go very long in this game. Obviously, he's been up for two starts, was down for a couple of weeks. That's where we're at in the part of the season. Not 100% confirmed that it is in fact Detroit, but it is Kumar Rocker. Kumar Rocker coming in to this game, 6,400. Game log wise, you can see not doing much. Against the Angels, gave up 6 earned runs. That's kind of what I would expect. I'm more so looking at the offense here. I think I'm more so looking at, obviously, Detroit offense, but Texas offense against, if it is Montero, I'd look at them too. So Detroit against Rocker, and they've never faced him before, but against righties this year, I would look at Riley Green batting 307. I would look at Colt Keith batting 281. I would look at Dylan Dingler batting 268. If you want to go a full stack, I would also add in probably Zach McKinstry, Torkelson, and Torres, depending on where you want to go in that direction. And then Texas bats, the ones I'd look at, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, who's come on lately, and Wyatt Langford will be my top three. Just depends if it is, in fact, Hyder Montero in that one. So we can't confirm it yet, but once it is confirmed, it will be updated on our website. The Athletics at Cleveland's next. We do have some rain concern here. We got Luis Severino versus Logan Allen. Logan Allen, they're not really averaging much. Splits-wise, he's not faced them this year. In his career against the A's, 20 plate appearances, a 294 batting average. And then Sevy, 49 plate appearances, 304 against the Guardians. You look at game logs, like pretty decent the last two. I mean, he faced Detroit, did 19.1. He faced the White Sox, got 21.7. That's great. But then he had, 14.7, 8.75. It's just up and down. Now, the Athletics on the road compared to home, a little bit different because obviously that is a minor league ballpark where the ball flies out of there. So that's where I want to look at splits. I'm pretty sure they're completely different. When Sevy is on the road, he's got his 323. When he's at home, he's got a 668. The ballpark is very bad. It is not a good ballpark for pitching. So on the road, he's been better. In his career, it's up and down. His game logs, like 18.5 against Toronto, which is great. -1, -3, -4, 11. Like, it's been very up and down. He's had a lot of games where negative fantasy points compared to a positive outcome. So that is why I think I like both pitchers. I think they're only tournament options for me. So if we're looking at bats on both sides, Cleveland bats against Sevy in their career, like Jose Ramirez is the only one. There's only 12 at-bats, and it's 2 batters. J-Ram does have a home run against them, batting 2 for 3. Against righties this year, you're looking at Stephen Kwan, who is day-to-day. So if he is in, I like him, but if he's not 100%, it kind of scares me. I would look at Stephen Kwan if he is, in fact, going to play this game. I would probably look at Kyle Manzardo. Obviously, J-Ram makes sense as well. A couple of cheaper options, Nolan Jones or Daniel Schneemann. I don't mind. I don't love, but I don't mind. Athletics against Logan Allen. Schumann has a home run. That is it. They actually don't hit lefties very well. I mean, Jacob Wilson batting 379 and Duhar batting 389. Brent Rooker batting 306 and Langoliers batting 378. Those would probably be the 4 bats that I'd look at. Make sure they're all in there. And hopefully it's a really good game for Logan Allen. I do like both pitchers. I do lean a little bit more towards Logan Allen against the Athletics than I do Sevy against the Guardians. We go into St. Louis at Arizona. This always scares me because Arizona ballpark here. We got Sonny Gray versus Ryan Nelson. Sonny Gray's been pretty damn good this year. When we've used him, he's 9-3, 118 Ks. Not a good start against Atlanta. Good start against Washington. Kind of up and down. Kind of been, everyone's going to base that off the 50.65. Splits-wise, he's already faced Arizona once this year. 6 innings, 3 Ks, 3 runs, 5 Ks. We look at that against Arizona. 12.1 is not enough. Got the dub in 6 innings. That's not enough for me. He's very expensive. It scares me. Like, you could always throw him in a tournament, but his price, he needs 30-plus fantasy points. It's going to be very hard to get that against this Arizona team at home. And then you've got Ryan Nelson. We look at Ryan Nelson coming off a bad start against Arizona. Now, this is where I'll tell you we're different than other providers. I'm going to let you know right now when I'm right or wrong. I was wrong about Ryan Nelson. I used him against the Angels because they struck out the second most out of any team. Doesn't matter. 4 earned runs, 7 hits, 4 innings, 1 K. It's his lowest amount of K in almost 2 months, or month and a half, which I can see. We look at splits against St. Louis this year. He has not faced them. When he pitches at home, he does have a better ERA. So Ryan Nelson for tournaments, I'm okay with, especially if Arenado and Burleson both have the day-to-day tags or don't play. If they're both out, I don't mind Ryan Nelson, but it's kind of iffy. I don't know if I can justify paying almost 10K for Sonny Gray. If we're looking at just the batters instead of the pitching, I'm okay with that. Again, like St. Louis, they do have some day-to-day players, but we'll see if they play or not. Against Ryan Nelson, like Arenado has a home run and Garrett Hampson has a home run. Against righties, Alec Burleson I would use. Brendan Donovan batting 341 with 6 bombs I would use. Those would be my top 2. Arenado would be another one, but he has been questionable and his name's been thrown out there to get traded, so definitely something to look at. A third one, I might look at Victor Scott. He could be sneaky. Arizona bats against Gray. Like Josh Naylor has 2 home runs. I would use him Against righties this year, batting 315 with 9 bombs. At home, I love him. He's my number 1. Ketel Marte is my number 2. Another name that's kind of been out there. Like if Arizona continues to slip out of it, they could trade almost everybody. They're obviously not going to trade Corbin Carroll. But I mean, another one, trade bait, Eugenio Suarez, I would look at. Like I do think a sneaky stack could be Arizona. Obviously, we know Sonny Gray's really good, but Arizona's good at home. Yeah, I mean, Marte, Naylor, Suarez, Alec Thomas, maybe James McCann. Only 19 at bats against righties, but batting 421 right now. It's very early. I get that. Blaze Alexander could be another one. I don't know if he plays though. So I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards Ryan Nelson for tournaments because I just don't want to pay up that much for Sonny Gray. So we got the Yankees at the Braves here. Yesterday, the Yankees had an opener for Friday night. Now they have Will Warren going versus Joey Wentz. Now I look at Joey Wentz here. Game log wise, here's the thing. He pitched 3 innings against the Cardinals last week, 6 Ks, ended up getting 18 fantasy points. He's a bullpen guy. That's probably what we're looking at is 3 innings, and then it's just a bullpen to go with it. I mean, the Yankees do strike out the 5th most out of any team. They're striking out over 9.5 times a game on the road. So I don't think you can pace. I mean, if he was like 5K, I maybe think about it. But I mean, the outlier there's 18. He had 16 there. It's kind of very iffy. Most likely bullpen day completely. He does have a 6.32 ERA though. And then you got Will Warren. He's got some upside to him. Coming off a bad start against the Cubs. The entire series was bad for the Yankees. Great start against Seattle. Great start against the Athletics. I mean, he's got, you see 11, like his ceiling is 11 strikeouts. He got 10 back on May 20th. You look at his splits, he's never faced the Braves before. The offense for the Braves has been very weird this year. You do look at Will Warren on the road. Does have a 6.75 on the road, okay? And he hasn't pitched since last Saturday. So it's been a week. That's definitely something, or last Sunday. So 6 days between. I don't know if that's going to affect him or anything. His pitches are basically 85 to 100 pitches is what you're expecting. At 8K, I'm okay with it. But I think I'd rather look at the offenses. So just looking at this, Joey Wentz did pitch against the Yankees. Where did he get traded from? The Pirates? Yeah. So he did face the Yankees when here back in early April, bullpen day there. Struck him out. Limited time, 2.1 in 1 inning. So he's had success against them, but that's what you're looking at. You're not going to pay that much for that. So if we're looking at Yankees against him, Stanton has a home run against him. That is it for home runs. But against lefties, Goldie batting 402 on the year. Volpe batting 283. I know he struggled, but I'd look at him. I would look at Judge. I would look at Belly as well. And then I'd probably look at Austin Wells in there. And then Braves bats against Warren. Obviously, we've already talked about. They've never seen him before. But against righties this year, they're doing pretty good. I would look at Acuna, who's batting 344 with double-digit home runs. I would look at Ozuna batting 242 with 11. I would probably take a look at Matt Olson as well if we're looking at 3 batters from each team. Next game, we got Boston and Chicago. Like I said, the wind is blowing out. I do love Amanaga today. There is rain concern. So if the rain holds off, the wind is still blowing out. I still think I'd rather take Amanaga. Amanaga here, coming off a great start against the Yankees, 27.95. Splits-wise, when he pitches at home, he does have a worse ERA. That's the only problem that scares me a little. I do like Amanaga here, though. But again, it's very contingent on what the wind is actually going to do. Then Brian Bayo here going up against the Cubs. He's faced 38 plate appearances against him, a 200 batting average, coming off back-to-back really good starts. Splits-wise, when he pitches on the road, it's a 2.95, so he's been better on the road. Again, the problem will be the rain and then the wind just blowing out here. Hopefully it doesn't affect him much. So let's say we're not going either pitcher. Let's say we're looking at bats. So what bats on each side? Cubs bats I'm looking at Seiya Suzuki. He had a home run, big home run on Friday. I would look at him. I would look at Michael Busch. I would look at PCA. Those would be my top 3 right now. Boston bats against Amanaga. Really haven't seen much. Against lefties, Rami Gonzalez, Rob Refsnyder. Look at them. Probably Bregman. I would look at, especially in this ballpark. There's always Carlos Narvaez you could look, or Trevor Story as well. So I do like Amanaga here. I like both pitchers. I think Amanaga's more cash. I think Bayo's more tournaments, but you could flip-flop if, in fact, you want to. But let's kind of monitor the rain and weather there. The wind is blowing out, though. Then you got Minnesota at Colorado. It has not been confirmed that it is Simeon Woods Richardson here. So not 100%. Coming off not a good start against Pittsburgh. I will tell you, we took him there. He did only give up 1 earned run, but he did have a walk, 3 strikeouts, and he didn't even go 5 innings. So the fantasy points were very blah there. And they've bumped him up in price at Colorado, which scares me a little bit. And then Sensatella coming in, 6 ERA, splits-wise, he's not facing before, pitching at home, 6.75. I would avoid the pitching in this one, and I would look at the bats. So the pitching, you could look out for tournaments because Colorado does strike out the most out of any team. But if we're looking at this, Minnesota bats against Sensatella, no one's had success really, but against righties, they are hitting well. I would look at Byron Buxton, a full stack here. I would look at Byron Buxton. I would look at Ryan Jeffers. I would look at Ty France, Harrison Bader, Trevor Larnach, maybe flip-flop with Carlos Correa or Cody Clemens, depending if all of those guys are actually starting in this game. Then Colorado bats, like there's none, like a ton that jump out. Tyro Estrada, if he's in there, I don't mind him. Hunter Goodman is another one I'd look at. Mickey Moniak is another one. If you want a couple more, Ryan McMahon, who may get traded, you never know. And then you got Jordan Beck you could look at as well. So I am avoiding the pitching in this one. Usually we do avoid the pitching in a Coors game. For the most part. There are some times that we don't, and we've had success, and sometimes it's blown up in our face. Then you got Milwaukee at the Dodgers. You got Freddie Peralta versus Emmett Sheehan. Now, Emmett piggybacked off of Shohei last time. Looks like he's going to get the start. The problem is he's only gone 5 innings once this year. For 7,900, kind of scares me. In his career, he's never faced Milwaukee before, and we look at his splits. 2 home games, 2 ERA, 13 Ks. He's not too bad. It just depends. If he could go more than 5 innings, obviously we'd love to see that. But the Brewers can hit too. And then you got Freddie Peralta, 129. I think Freddie just faced them, right? Yeah. Just faced him July 7th. 27.9 fantasy points in that game. Love to see it. Love to see Milwaukee sweeping the Dodgers there. Dominated in Milwaukee. Now, that's the only problem. Now, we look at splits. 6 innings, 7 Ks. When he pitches on the road, he does have a worse ERA. So that is a problem. But I don't mind. I think both pitchers are great. I think both pitchers are I think Sheehan's strictly tournaments. Freddie Peralta could be tournament, or it could be a cash option. So then we look at the bats here. If you don't trust either pitcher, you want to look at the bats instead, we'll do that. Milwaukee against Sheehan, like we said, never faced him before, but against righties this year, like Bryce Terang batting 275, Yelich batting 279 with 17 bombs. I would look at those two. I would look at Jackson Chiro, who has 11 bombs as well. And then if we're looking at the Dodgers bats against Peralta, like Smith, Betts, and Freeman all have home runs. So does Ohtani. Against righties this year, Will Smith batting 324, Freddie Freeman batting 322. Those are my top 2. Ohtani batting 265 with 26 bombs. Probably another one. Maybe an Andy Pajes if Freeman is out or someone else is out. I don't mind them there. But I do like Freddie Peralta here. The only problem is he's been worse on the road than at home. And then the final game, you got Lance McCullers versus to be announced on the Minnesota Twins, or the Seattle Mariners. They think it's going to be Logan Evans, which is great, 3.75 ERA. So let's look at it. Let's see. They've never faced Logan Evans before. Against righties, they're not the best, but Isak Paredes I'd look at, batting 266 with 16 bombs. Altuve batting 288 with 14 bombs. And Christian Walker batting 239 with 11 home runs are the top ones I'd look at the moment through 10,000 sims. And then Seattle against McCullers, 84 plate appearances in his career, 13.1 walk percentage, 260 batting average, but he's striking out 28.6 of the batters he's faced. And Seattle strikes out the 4th most out of any team. So if we look at that, Seattle bats against him, like Dylan Moore and Polanco both have home runs. Against righties, though, this year, I would look at Cal Raleigh with 22 bombs. I would look at J.P. Crawford. And probably number 3, sneaky, but a Luke Raley I don't mind. I don't mind that. I think I'll take McCullers. In both cash and tournaments and in sports betting as well. So there you have it. that is the breakdown there of the full slate. If I'm taking one, it's McCullers, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust him enough. Probably just tournaments, actually. I don't think I trust him enough in cash. So there you go. That is all 15 games of your Saturday slate. If you've been with us before, you know what time it is. You've probably already checked the chapters, but we're going to look at our matchup tool. So we've done 10,000 simulations in the background. These are all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. Now, we'll do 20,000 simulations, usually right around lunchtime, and we'll update it onto the website. But if we're looking at this, number 1 right now, Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Fernando Tatis Jr. 3 is Manny Machado. 4 is Jackson Merrill. 5 is Brent Rooker. 6 is Gavin Sheets. 7 is Juan Soto. 8, Luis Arraez. 9, Paul Goldschmidt. 10, Jake Cronenworth. 11, Pete Alonso. 12, Marcell Ozuna. 13, Vinny Pasquantino. 14, Francisco Lindor. And 15, Jose Iglesias. So we have 15 right now. We have a bunch of 9s as well. But if you look at those top 15, 7 of the 15 are San Diego Padres against Mitchell Parker. So early simulations, love San Diego Padres against Mitchell Parker. So maybe that will be one of our favorite stacks of the day. So now we're going to do our Pitches Be Crazy segment. So what this is, we look at the pitchers that are going up against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most on the day. Minnesota at Colorado. So they think it's going to be Simeon Woods Richardson. It's not been confirmed. So whichever Minnesota pitcher it is, Colorado strikes out 9.72 times per game, 9.09 at home. Number 2 is Taijuan Walker versus the Angels. The Angels strike out 9.66 times per game, 9.76 on the road. Number 3 is Shota Amanaga versus Boston. The Red Sox strike out 8.95 times per game, 10.04 on the road. Number 4 is Lance McCullers at Seattle. Seattle strikes out 8.82 times per game, 8.83 at home. And then number 5 is Joey Wentz versus the Yankees. Yankees strike out 8.77 times per game, 9.66 on the road. The only problem is Joey Wentz, it's a bullpen game. He's probably not going more than 3 innings. Kind of scares me a little. So then we've got our Makin Bacon segment. So we look at this, and these are batters we think could get you 1+ hit, could get you 2+ bases, could get you 1+ base or hits, runs, and RBIs combined, depending on which book you guys look at. And then we'll look at pitchers for strikeout. So at the moment, through 10,000 sims, the Padres and Nationals are expected to have the most amount of bases, which is kind of wild because you would think it'd be Coors, but it's not. They are not the top 4 teams right now. So these batters that we think could get 2+ bases or other stats for you that you might want to look at for sports betting. Luis Arraez versus Mitchell Parker, number 1. Number 2 is Manny Machado. 3 is for Fernando Tatis Jr. 4, Jackson Merrill. 5, Brent Rooker. 6, Gavin Sheets. 7, Aaron Judge. 8, Vinny Pasquantino. 9, Jose Iglesias. And finally, 10, Paul Goldschmidt versus Joey Wentz. So I wouldn't parlay all 10 of those together. You can parlay some of them together. And then the strikeout center. These are the ones we're looking at for strikeouts. So if your book allows it and you can parlay some of these together, or you can alt some of these strikeout lines, I'm okay with that. Yusei Kikuchi against the Phillies. If you can find a line for 6+ strikeouts, I don't mind that. Sonny Gray for 5+ strikeouts, I'm okay with. Freddie Peralta for 5+ strikeouts. Mike Burrows for 5+ strikeouts there. Amanaga versus the Red Sox is the only thing I'm looking at because of the weather. If you can go 4 to 5 strikeouts, I'm okay with that, but that's definitely up to the weather there. And then Will Warren, 5+ strikeouts against the Braves. I would look at those as well. So if you've still stuck around, welcome to the jungle. Hopefully you guys had a great time. The keyword of the day, we're going to put salty. The keyword of the day is salty because I had a couple of people DM me on Twitter saying, well, I won't say what they said, but they were very salty about this channel. I'll leave it at that. So that's the keyword. Have a great day with that. If you have any questions, get those down below. You can hit us up on our absolutely free Discord. Don't forget, if you want to help out the channel, just watching these videos a couple of times a day, engaging with them and sharing, all of that helps out. On top of that, if you want to go ahead and send some love, you can. Whether or not you want to send a tip, you can do that. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all of that's awesome. Thirdly, if you want to sign up for FTA Plus and you want to get that yearly special for $75 instead of $200, email me right now, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up. So that's what I've got. Good luck on this Saturday. Let's have a fantastic Saturday back. Let's have a great day DFS-wise, sports betting-wise, MLB and MMA, all things. Let's have a great, beautiful day. Good luck, and as always, bring home some bacon. Peace!